which are the little deities in LA, Los Angeles. He mentioned that it's just the previous, next to last paragraph. He talks about offering Krishna halava. He said that because at that time in the movement, everyone was eating halava. That was breakfast. Sugar and ghee. That sugar and ghee put together with some harina. I forget the name. Semolina. Yeah, semolina. Harina is in Spanish. Harina. Yeah. Semolina is it. The ghee and the sugar and the semolina put together was what kept the devotees in the movement. So Prabhupada used that as an analogy. He said, you're offering Krishna this halava, but it's not that he's obliged to take it, because you're offering some halava with raisins in it. Prabhupada, for some reason, like golden raisins, because he put some golden raisins in the halava. Therefore, Krishna must accept it, because he's so lusty for halava like the rest of us. So you've got him. You know that Krishna needs your fruity halava. Then he said, just like Sanatana Goswami, he started with Vamsidas Babaji, who used to have deities and treat them like his children. He said, then he switched over to Sanatana Goswami. Just like Sanatana Goswami was hanging Madan Mohan within the tree. So the story goes that Madan Mohan was living with one Brahmin, and the Brahmin was so advanced in Vrindavan at that time, he was such an advanced Brahmin, that he used to treat Madan Mohan like his son. And his children, Madan Mohan, during the day, sometimes he'd get off the altar and play with this Brahmin's children. They were so advanced. But one day, Madan Mohan came to the Brahmin in a dream and said, my dear Brahmin, tomorrow Sanatana Goswami, he's going to come begging Madhukara, begging for some chapatis. And when he comes, you should give me to him. So the Brahmin was shocked, how could I do that? He said, no, Sanatana Goswami, he's living by himself, he's all by himself. But you have so many children, I'm just one of the kids. So you be generous, give one of your kids to Sanatana Goswami. So the Brahmin was advanced devotee, this is Krishna's order, so Sanatana Goswami came the next day, doing Madhukari, and the Brahmin said, here's one of my children, he asked to come and live with you. But Sanatana Goswami said, but that's not really possible. He said, I don't have any place to stay, I'm just living underneath the tree. That's all right, he told me he wants to live with you, I guess he knows where he's going. So Sanatana Goswami puts Madan Mohan within a tree. And in Vrindavan at that time, there was no Loy Bazaar. You didn't go to the sweet market and buy things. There were only some people living in the village, and it was a jungle. There were even tigers and deer and everything else there. So they were cooking rotis. It wasn't a chapati. Roti means you ground with some rock or something the grains until you get some kind of powder, and then you add some water and you kind of make a ball into it, and you throw it into a fire. There's no cooking utensils. You just throw it into the fire. So when you throw things into a fire, they get half cooked, half burnt and half raw. A lot of our chapatis here are like that also. Anyhow, that was, sometimes our chapatis turned out more successful. In any case, that was the roti. It's not exactly the most delicious chapati you ever had. And there's no ghee on it. So Sanatana Goswami would do Madhukari and get these rotis and bring them to Madan Mohan. So Madan Mohan, because not only there was no ghee on it, there was no salt. So Madan Mohan started to complain. Because at least when he was with the Brahmin knew how to cook. So he said to Sanatana Goswami, he said, every day you're bringing me these dry chapatis, these rotis, no ghee, no salt. He said, can't you even beg a little salt? So Sanatana Goswami said, my dear Madan Mohan, he said, more or less, he said, I'm an old man, I can't even move. Whatever I get, I offer to you. So please accept. So Prabhupada started to chuckle and said, and Madan Mohan had to eat, because the bhakta is offering. He said, but what is your qualification? And what is the qualification of the things that you have? He said, it's nothing. That the real qualification is bhakti. That Krishna kindly take, I'm rotten and I'm fallen, but I brought this for you. And then Prabhupada started to cry. And Prabhupada said, that will do. Don't be puffed up. Always remember you're dealing with Krishna. That is my advice to you. Thank you. In other words, we have to be a little conscious of who we're doing things for, that he's not just some ordinary personality. We may not know exactly what spiritual consciousness is, but at least we should accept there's something called spiritual consciousness that we'd like to experience. And if we accept that here is Krishna, and here's what I'm offering to him, please, I'm just your insignificant servant, please accept it. That is the process of entering into the spiritual platform. Now Krishna himself, he loves everyone. He feels himself subordinate to everyone. After all, he's been accompanying us since time immemorial in every species of life, simply because of his love for us. So we have to have the same, as Krishna says, ye yatamam prapadyante. So we have to develop the same attitude that Krishna has. Not that, oh, here's the big boss up there. If I surrender to him, he's going to stomp on me. Like, he's going to take advantage of me, exploit me. No, actually, Krishna is the most loving, the most considerate. If we actually develop an attitude of service, then Krishna will become even more of a servant to us. Krishna is already a servant to us. He's giving us whatever we need, but he'll even become more attentive to us. As we become attentive to him and to his desires, then he becomes even more attentive to us. So that attitude is so valuable of service, and that's all we're trying to develop, an attitude of service to Krishna, understanding how wonderful and how great he is, how capable he is. And we chant Hare Krishna try to chant Hare Krishna in that mood, at least inquisitive, what it would be like to be aware of Krishna. Because Krishna is in our heart. He's answering all our desires, either through his material energy or through his spiritual energy. And if we have spiritual desires, then we get answered so many births and deaths, so many different species of life, so many material circumstances we find ourselves in as answer to our desires. And if we have spiritual desires, we have desires in relation to Krishna, then Krishna will also respond and give us experiences on the spiritual platform and reveal himself more and more. So a little inquisitive, at least when we're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So at least show Krishna that we're a little inquisitive, then Dadami Buddhi Yogantam. What would it be like if I can chant in love, with attention and love? Just inquisitive, and then try. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. At least try, and then Dadami Buddhi Yogantam. Krishna will give us the intelligence, how to chant better. It's not that we're going to study the books, we're going to become a learned scholar, and then automatically we're going to chant better. It's not possible. It all depends upon Krishna's will. It all depends upon Krishna's revealing himself, giving us intelligence how to do it. So that we have to try to develop that desire, that Krishna can show us some mercy to to chant to Krishna, asking him to show us some mercy and reveal to us, give us the intelligence at least, how to improve our chanting. And when Krishna sees we're trying, then he reciprocates out of his compassion. And if we don't try, we know same rounds every day, chanting every day, so far away. This Krishna's relationship is a gopi, sure, right? Gopi, coward boy, blade of grass. It's so. Same rounds. I got to get him down today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. I knew it didn't work. Hare-rama, Hare-rama. It never works. Just get him done. Oh, finally got it done. Now I'm relieved of this heavy burden. And then for the rest of the day, everything else is a heavy burden. Oh my God, what am I doing this Hare Krishna movement? Such a heavy burden. Everything is so dull. These devotees don't love me. I don't love them. The prasadam isn't to my liking. There's too much salt today. This is a mess. I think I'm going home to Mother. Mommy! Do you love me? So it all begins with the chanting, and we have to change our attention, try to chant. And of course the mind will wander, but we have to bring it back. And then when we get the chance, when we have the peace, the presence of mind, try to chant at least something, some part of the rounds, with some feeling. And then we'll be surprised that Krishna might even appear within our memory. And then as we advance, there's enough memory, we might even try to feel his presence. And then our actual appreciation for what it's like to be Krishna conscious will actually develop. Other than that, the prasadam may be nice, but we forget. We may get a little praise. Oh, you're a great devotee. You're so wonderful. Yes, of course. Of course, everyone. I always knew it. Thank you. But those things are temporary. But if we can actually get a taste for the holy name on the spiritual platform, and then we'll understand how wonderful actually is this opportunity. And we can look forward to developing our spiritual consciousness, which everyone has. Everyone has an eternal relation with Krishna that can be developed. And then when we experience Krishna's love for Srimati Radharani, we experience Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna, we experience their love for all the residents of Vrindavan, then we can experience our love too for Krishna and all the residents of Vrindavan. And as that develops, then we become eligible, because one day we'll find out what my relation with Krishna is. Now our relation with Krishna is to serve him on the spiritual platform, serve him on this platform, to try to serve him, to try to become like the residents of Vrindavan, try to love Krishna to the best we can, try to serve Krishna, try to develop our finer feelings towards Krishna, and Krishna will help us. He'll give us the intelligence how to do it. He wants to do that, but we simply have to want Krishna to help us, that's all. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna. What if when we chanting, our minds wander about things that are connected to Krishna? As I don't know, like Harinam Sankirtan service we're going to do.
Are you in ecstasy thinking about those things?
What?
Are you in ecstasy thinking about those things?
Sometimes.
Oh. Sometimes. No, we're chanting Hare Krishna. So Krishna has to be there. If you're thinking about going on Sankirtan and distributing the Krishna book, in Prabhupada's there in your heart, and Krishna is watching you distributing the books, Krishna has to be there.
Yes, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Krishna has to be there. If Krishna is there, it's all right. But anyhow, things will come, not that, wow, look at this. I'm so advanced, I can't believe it. I made it. I'm thinking about Sankirtan rather than something else. Please give me, where's my gold star? No, that may be one of our thoughts. That would be one of our remembrances. So that's nice if we're thinking, if Krishna is there. But there are many varieties of thinking about Krishna. So that's nice. Yes.
You mentioned Sanatana Goswami telling Madan Mohan that this is as much as I can do, please accept. Yet, over the time I heard various times from preachers that we should never say this is as much as I can do, and we should always strive to surpass our limits. So which one is it? When is it okay for a devotee to say this is as much as I can do, please accept?
What do you mean pass our limits for what?
For whatever we can do at that moment. For the service we can do at that moment.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, for example, a devotee can say, I can only, I don't know, come to the morning program once a week because of my work. This is as much as I can do. And he was told, you should come more. Another devotee says, I cannot go.
Well, let's start with that example. Well, we have to use our intelligence. In other words, avyarta kalatvam, we should try to spend our time in Krishna consciousness and try to learn how to manage our time in such a way as we can fill it with Krishna consciousness or fill it with service. But that doesn't mean that we do it whimsically or impulsively. We skip our job and come to this, to the program. No, we have to do it responsibly. Pray to Krishna, use our intelligence that Krishna is giving us, so that we can maybe come to more, and not give up our other responsibilities. Maybe give up things that are not so valuable for something more valuable. Now, Sanatana Goswami was living in Vrindavan. He couldn't say, Madan Mohan was complaining, can't you give me a little salt? And Sanatana Goswami said, well, tomorrow I'll give you a whole banquet, pizza, gulab jamins.
No, but he could have asked for salt also when he asked for the rotis, so it's not some extra.
Eventually he did.
I know, sorry.
Eventually he got a whole boatload of salt from Madan Mohan. But that wasn't the point of what Srila Prabhupada was trying to bring out. The point was, that was the position right now. Sanatana Goswami was not about to go out and leave Madan Mohan and look for salt. It was, he wasn't living next to a supermarket. Don't worry, Madan Mohan, I'll just go buy some salt. He's living out in the jungle. So that he was offering it to Madan Mohan. But Madan Mohan, the point was that the love of Sanatana Goswami was so great that Madan Mohan was subordinate. He actually accepted whatever Sanatana Goswami, because he was so, his attitude of humility and love for for Madan Mohan, he's completely surrendered to him. So Madan Mohan was surrendered to Sanatana Goswami also, in their loving reciprocations of each other. So Prabhupada is pointing it out, we have to develop that attitude too.
Yeah, until we develop it, is it okay at some point when we cannot do more to say that this is as much as I can do?
We're always doing that.
I know we are always doing that, but I was told that we should never do that. And that's my question, should we or shouldn't we?
No, we should always think, at least our attitude should be, that this is, I'm offering, if we're actually offering everything we have, if we're actually on the mood of Sanatana Goswami, who did everything he could to please Madan Mohan, then there's that. Then the attitude should be, this is what I have. Please accept it. I'm insignificant. I can't. This is all I can do. I'm doing whatever I can. I'll do more if I can. But this is what I have now for you. Please accept it. I'm your insignificant servant. I'm just a particle of dust at your feet. So Sanatana Goswami was completely in love with Madan Mohan, and he was doing everything he could. So that's why Madan Mohan accepted it.
Thank you.
Anything else? Well, Grantaraj srimad-bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premananda.